I'm Rebecca Cook with Found Pilates Magazine, and we're going to be doing the Advanced Swan Dive. I want to give you not necessarily variations on the Swan Dive because that's what we did in our last video, but what we're going to do is do things to help us open up the front side of our body so that our Swan Dive is better. So the first thing we're going to do is open up the hip flexors a little bit. What we're going to do is draw your right leg back, internally rotate it, tuck the pelvis under, a little bit of a posterior tilt. We're going to lean away from that right side, and then we're going to open up and forth, back and forth. If you want to make this broader, you can, and you can take your time with it. And then you can draw your leg up and bring it down, and then we'll do the other side. Draw your left leg back, internally rotate that femur bone, tug a little bit, and then we're gonna reach away from that left leg, reach away, open up, just move through that and feel that nice stretch as you mobilize that joint. 4 or 5 times, and then come up. And you can repeat that as needed. All right, we're gonna lie down on our bellies, and we're going to do some strengthening exercises through our lats and through the back to open up the front side of our body. So we're lengthening out, our legs are externally rotated, and our thumbs are pointed up towards the ceiling. We wanna connect the shoulders or connect our arms into our back slightly by drawing them back gently. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna feel this nice little bit of extension and then lift the arms up towards the ceiling. So here we go. Lift 1, and again, 2, and 3, and 4. If you need to widen the arms, to have that opened up a little bit, to stay out of those traps, you can, but eventually we want them straight above our heads. There we go. And relax. So you're gonna do 8 to 10 of those. After you're done with that, one thing that can impede your swan dive is actually your quads. Your quads can be quite tight. I'm gonna show you a little trick. So if I bend the knees, and think of this like similar to a donkey kick if you were in a quadruped position, I place my hands across my forehead, and I'm going to kick my heel up towards the ceiling, all right? And I'm going one at a time, and I'm trying to think of lengthening from the hip bone to the knee. So the energy is moving that way to lift up. I'm using my glutes and my hamstring. Now the tendency is to push into the opposite leg and use that opposite quadricep to kind of help you lift the leg, but we want to try to eliminate that as much as we can and just lift with the leg that's lifting. Try to stay in parallel. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little trick. That quadricep was impeding my ability to lift that leg as high. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw my hip bone into the mat like I'm doing. I grab my foot if this is available to you. You can do this and open up this quad. Of course, you can do a quad stretch standing. There's lots of ways to open up that front of the body. And then you can grab onto the other leg, get a little stretch. Something you also might want to try is actually grabbing with the opposite hand, because in swan dive we are turned out, and so that vastus internalis, that inside quadricep muscle on the leg, is going to also need stretched and opened up. So I'm sort of pulling my foot towards my opposite butt cheek. All right, and then I'm going to do it on the other side. Just get a nice little mobilizing stretch, and you can lower it and lift it just to kind of get more mobility if you'd like, or you can hold it there for about 20 to 30 seconds, okay? Now I wanna show you, just in that little leg lift, how much more open my hips are now. So I'm able to really lift that leg higher, and it really feels more open to me. I can get that extension that I want. Okay, now as we're going into Swan Dive, as we saw in the last video, I showed you a little prep that we do where we extend up through the upper body and then we lift our legs. So this is what we're doing. We're inhaling and exhaling. That's our little rocking motion. You can make these bigger. Those are good little preps for it. So you're catching yourself. All right? And then when we do the full swan dive, we push all the way up if that's available. And then we send our arms out. We lift the legs first on an exhale. All right. Keep trying, keep working on your swan dive. It's a wonderful advanced exercise. If you never get to the advanced swan dive, that's just fine. You can have plenty of variations with the swan prep in the last video. Thanks for joining me. I'm Rebecca Cook with Found Pilates Magazine.